Welcome to the Personal Development Mastery Podcast. I'm 𝗁𝗁𝗂𝗀𝗃 and my mission is to inspire you to rise up, grow, stand out and take action towards the next level of your life. I interview leaders, influencers, entrepreneurs, authors, exceptional people who can and will inspire you to improve your life. Tune in for 2 episodes each week and make sure you subscribe to the podcast to get the episodes as soon as they are released. Today I felt inspired to record this topic that I'm going to discuss with you. Earlier on today I had a conversation with my friend Will Polston for his podcast, Make It Happen with Will Polston. And one of the things that we discussed there is a concept that I have started implementing recently. And it's called 10 Things I Learned From. So it goes something like this, and you will see the value of it immediately, I believe. So you pick some people who have inspired you, who have influenced you, who have made an impact in your life, and you write down a list with as many as you want, really, but try to do at least 5. And then for each of them, you write 10 things specifically that you have learned from. And the big value in doing an exercise like this, I believe, is the fact that it allows you to reflect and really recollect and think of what it is exactly that I learned from this person and how have I implemented it and changed my life. So it's a wonderful exercise, and have a think about some of the people that you have been inspired by, and write down 10 things that you have learned from each of them. Coming back to what I started saying earlier on about my conversation at Will Polston's podcast, I actually discussed, because for those of you who haven't heard this part of my story, Will was the first coach I had back in 2017 when I had started my intense personal development journey. And one of the things that we discussed today was the 10 things I learned from him as a result of the time and the influence I've had by his events and so on. And I wanted to share some of those 10 things that I've learned with you today and discuss them a little bit, because I believe they are incredibly valuable. So one of the things that I learned from Will, and we discussed that in his podcast quite extensively, was the concept that we own the traits of our role models. So what do I mean by that? We have all those people that we are being inspired by, or that these people have influenced us, or people who we consider as role models in one or another way. We might know them or not know them, it doesn't really matter. So when we look at our role models and we describe the traits that they have, the characteristics in particular that we admire about them, there is a very interesting pattern that emerges by writing down characteristics of your role models. And eventually you come to realize that all these things that you admire in these people, all these traits, all these characteristics, are actually things that you have inside you. And that's why you are able to recognize them in these people. They are traits that you own, and that's why you see them. And it's a very big realization to understand that that's the reason why you are compelled towards these people, and you see them as role models, because you have these traits within you. I believe that is very empowering, and that was one of the 10 things that I learned from Will. And I will discuss about 2 or 3 more with you today, just so you can get the idea. Another thing that I learned from him, and again we discussed that on his podcast, was the difference between the praising the result in someone's behavior versus praising the effort. And what do I mean by that? Many times when someone tells us, what, I've done this, I've achieved this, our answer usually is, or often is, well done. The problem with this, or the reason why I want to reframe that, is that when we say well done, what we do is we praise the result. So we say, you have done well. This result is well. However, I prefer personally to, instead of praising the result, to praise the effort. So to say, in other words, great effort. Because yes, the result is, it's awesome to have it, but it was the effort that led you to that result, isn't it? So I think it's much more important to be praising the effort. So even if you don't get the result, your effort is praised, and then you can put even more effort next time to achieve the result. So that was one other thing, that distinction between saying good effort and saying well done. That was something that I learned from Will. And one other also very important thing I learned is the importance of having a written and detailed set of ultimate goals, what Will calls the North Star, and reviewing it often. So I have a quite detailed, it's quite a few pages document of my North Star, my ultimate goal, my compelling future, and it's all in different categories of my life. So what is my ultimate goal in terms of my health, in terms of my relationship, in terms of my finances, in terms of my attitude, in terms of my career, in terms of my contribution, in terms of my fitness and wellness and health. All these things, having a detailed ultimate vision or outcome, it doesn't matter whether you achieve it or not. That's irrelevant. I believe what is relevant is having that and allowing it to be a beacon of light, a compelling future that you can go towards. So if you align your actions towards that direction, then I believe you will find fulfillment. And it doesn't matter whether you will achieve these ultimate goals or not. What's important is the journey, the effort, and that blends in with what I was saying earlier, with the great effort. The effort of going or taking the actions towards the direction of your ultimate vision, your ultimate goals. And there are quite a lot more of these learnings. I just wanted to share some of them with you today, because it is, as I said in the beginning, I believe it is a tremendously useful, reflective exercise. So I would recommend that you take some time and think of a couple of people that you consider to be to have learned or been inspired by, and for each of them write down 10 things that you learned from them. I think it's going to lead you to some very useful realizations. And there was one other thing that I mentioned earlier on, and it was appreciating the journey, having that, when you have that compelling future, that ultimate goal as a beacon of light in front of you, and you take action towards going there. It's very important never ever to forget that this is the journey. It's not, the beacon of light is not, that result is not what you must achieve in order to be fulfilled. This is the beacon, where you're pointing towards. But what you do on a day-to-day basis, your actions, your thoughts, what you're doing every day, this is your path towards there. And that path, the journey of life, the journey of personal development, the journey of living one's life to its potential, it's very important to understand that this journey, it's all there is. That's what it is about, to be appreciative of the journey, of the moment, of the day. And I would like to conclude this solo podcast, actually. There is, actually, by sharing, there is one poem. It is by a Greek poet called 𝗁𝗲𝗀𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗃. And it is one of the best poems I've ever read. It is by far my favorite one, because, and I will share a little story with you, funnily enough, because as you probably know, I'm Greek originally. So this was one of the poems that we were taught back in high school. But at that time, when I was like 14 years old or 15, I couldn't care less about what the deeper meaning of this poem was. I just, read it and did my homework and forgot about it. So I was in my 40s when I rediscovered this poem, and actually in its English translation this time. And I would like to share this with you, my favorite poem, Ithaca by 𝗁𝗲𝗀𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗃, which for me really describes what I was just sharing with you, the appreciation of the journey of life. As you set out for Ithaca, hope your road is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. 𝗁𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗯𝗹𝗲, Cyclops, angry Poseidon, don't be afraid of them. You'll never find things like that on your way as long as you keep your thoughts raised high, as long as a rare excitement stirs your spirit and your body. 𝗁𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗯𝗹𝗲, Cyclops, wild Poseidon, you won't encounter them unless you bring them along inside your soul, unless your soul sets them up in front of you. Hope your road is a long one. May there be many summer mornings when, with what pleasure, what joy, you enter harbors you've seen for the very first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, sensual perfume of every kind, as many sensual perfumes as you can. And may you visit many Egyptian cities to learn and go on learning from their scholars. Keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you're destined for. But don't hurry the journey at all. Better if it lasts for years, so you're old by the time you reach the island, wealthy with all you've gained on the way, not expecting Ithaca to make you rich. Ithaca gave you the marvelous journey. Without her, you wouldn't have set out. She has nothing left to give you now. And if you find her poor, Ithaca won't have fooled you. Wise as you will have become, so full of experience, you will have understood by then what these Ithacas mean. I hope this poem resonated with you. It certainly does for me. I appreciate you for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed, please take a minute and drop me a review on Apple Podcasts. It's very much appreciated. Until next time, stand out, don't fit in.